Hi, we're we're talking animals now. So I begin with a quiz. Which one of these is an animal? Is it tarantula? Is it strong toad? Is it puppy? Is it pile of mealworms in a bowl? Which is animals? You ready for this? All of them? Know why? Because I didn't ask you what a mammal was. I asked you what an animal was. So we'll discuss some of those details later. But those were all animals. In other words, they're all members of the kingdom Animalia. So, how do we define animals? Let's start with number one of our notes. Okay, we have four major characteristics. All animals are heterotrophs, they're all eukaryotes, they're all multicellular, no single-celled animals, and they all lack cell walls. All right, so those first three characteristics, if you remember right, are shared by kingdom fungi, but fungi have cell walls made of chitin. Okay, so there you go. There's our intro to animals. That's our intro to animals. Continue. One of the things we're going to look at here are the tissues and the roles they play in animals. Like in plants, we looked at some different tissues, ground tissue, dermal and vascular tissues. So we're going to look at some tissues and the roles they play in animals. So tissue type 1, epithelial. So brief description is skin, right? Epithelium is skin. Muscular tissue, this is muscle, right, for movement. We also have connective tissue. All right, this is just what it says. It connects different parts of your body. So what's the connective tissue that connects your muscles to your bones? Tendons. And what connects your bones to your bones, keeps them together? Ligaments. Those are examples of connective tissue. And then we also have nervous tissue, right, which is the thing response that allows us to, anyways, interact with the world around us and perceive it and think about it. Okay, there you go, number 2. Okay, so we're going to talk about number 3, right, which is a table we're going to fill out. So we've got two major groups of animals that we discuss. We talk about invertebrates, which is the huge majority of species, and vertebrates, which are the cool guys, if we're being honest. So invertebrates, the way we think about them is that they do not have a backbone. So that is the first row of our table on number 3. So some examples, you can see them in the pictures. We've got a sea star or a starfish. Of course, you got things like worms and jellyfish and all kinds of bugs and insects. We've got right above my head here, I see you, monarch butterfly. And then over here to my right, we've got a cicada. You've probably seen those before. Summertime bug making noise. Not a locust, different things. All right, so those are invertebrates, 95% of the species. That leaves as vertebrates the other 5% of species. These guys have backbones. There's just a small group of animals, but they're, of course, the ones we care the most about because, for example, people and birds. So we've got fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, mammals, right? So these are all examples of the best kinds of creatures, which really are mammals. Hey, Chris, who wants a popsicle? Don't forget to stretch out your creamy hamstrings. That seems good. What are the major functions animals carry out? What are the big things animals do? Because we'll look into these here coming up. All right, ready? So, major functions. This is 7 major functions. Number 4 is where we are in the notes. They eat. Again, they're all heterotrophs. We talked about that. Respiration is something we'll discuss. I'll leave it at that for now. Of course, animals have circulation. We, for example, use blood. All of our red blood. Excretion, that's not what you think it is. Response, so that's respond to the environment around us. And movement, all right, animals are capable of movement at least at some level. And then, of course, we'll talk about reproduction in animals. Okay, so there's kind of like the roadmap for the stuff we're going to be talking about the rest of this unit, I guess introduction part, which is I've broken this intro down into 3 sections. So we're just on intro part 1. Who wants to eat? All animals do. They want to eat. Dinner time. So what are the things that they eat? What about plants? Those are herbivores. So there's our table for number 5. Duh. Or herbivores. Or herbivores. Carnivores. They eat animal. What does omnivore eat? All of it. All the above. I'm omnivorous. I eat animal. I eat plant. I eat fungus. I eat bacteria. I eat protist. I get it all. Detritivores. All right, so, oops, looks like this is the last row in our notes. Oops, detritivores. So these are things that eat dead stuff. This is just another fun science name for a scavenger or a decomposer or a saprivore, right? These are all words that have basically the same idea, which is you just eat dead stuff, man. So detritus is a name that means decaying organic material. So if you eat detritus, you're a detritivore. So it's just another word for scavenger. All right, and then in your table here for number 5, I put these last 2 out of order. My bad. Anyways, you got filter feeders. So what are they all about? Well, they strain out tiny little aquatic things from the water. So filter feeders are things like sponges, right? Filtering junk out of the water. Respiration. So what's an animal doing when it respires? Well, this is bringing in oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide. Really, we know that's just part of the story because cellular respiration, really what we're talking about here is to make ATP. All right, one of the reactants, one of the raw ingredients is oxygen. So we need food, of course, too. But respiration is more properly probably described here as ventilation, getting oxygen in, getting carbon dioxide out. So there's respiration for you. Circulation is transporting stuff. That's it. So what are you transporting? You're transporting oxygen, right, from your lungs to the rest of your body. You're transporting waste of different types around, right? So you can get rid of it. You're transporting nutrients, right? Food, right? You eat something, it goes into your stomach. Well, how do you get that energy to the rest of your body and the mitochondria and the rest of your body? Thanks, blood. You do it for me, and you're my best friend. Let's talk excretion. And we've been waiting all day for this one. But like I said before, it is not what you were thinking, right? So in biology, excretion is actually getting rid of ammonia. So this is a nitrogen-based molecule, right? And this is a byproduct of our metabolism, our chemistry, our body chemistry. We gotta get rid of this nitrogen waste, right? So we convert it into a form called ammonia. We get rid of it. Thanks, kidneys, right? So we take in humans, we take our ammonia, we convert it to urea, we mix it with water, and that equals urine. And now you can leave the body. So thank you. It's a waste product, and that's excretion. So it's pee, not poop. Poop is undigested food, right? So that's not technically excretion. Side note, why is bird poop white? I don't remember if I've talked about this before, but anyways, here it is. Ready for the story? Birds don't want to carry around pee all day long because pee is mostly water and water is heavy, and that's no good if you're trying to fly away from a predator, right? So flying, you don't want to carry around weight. So birds' excretory system refine their urea, and instead of mixing it with water to get rid of it, they further distill that urea into these uric acid crystals. And guess what color uric acid crystals are? White. So when you see bird poop and it's always white, well, the white is actually the bird pee. Now sometimes it's mixed with other colors. If a bird's been eating berries, it's going to have some purple mixed with that white. Make a real pretty little lavender. But the truth is birds poop and peep out of the same place. It's called a cloaca. They also lay eggs out of there. They also make more birds in that one spot too. The cloaca is like it's like a discount drug mart. You know discount, you know their little jingle? Discount drug mart saves you the runaround. You'll find everything you need. It's like the discount drug mart in that it's a one-stop shop. This is what I'm telling you. Bird cloaca. What have I done? Okay, so that's got that out of the way. So now let's talk about number 9 in our notes. What do animals use to respond to the environment? Nerve cells, right? And we put them together in our bodies as part of a nervous system. So our sensory organs are all attached to the thing that transports them, our nervous system, right? Our spinal cord, all that. And it's all processed up here in our brains. So that's all part of the nervous system, and nerve cells allow us to perceive the environment and respond to it. Movement. So number 10 is asking about what does it mean to be motile. Well, motile means to be able to move, right? And animals can move, at least in some ways, because we got muscles. We got muscular contraction, right? Even on little creatures like sponges that don't seem to move around. So sedentary, meaning they stay put. Sea anemone, something like that. They use musculature, or at least some form of movement, to move water throughout their body, right? Or to transport things internally. Anyways, motile means able to move, and all animals are capable of it at some level. Action. Reproduction. What type of reproduction do most animals use? This is 11. Sexual reproduction. Like we know this, right? Most animals reproduce sexually. Obvious advantage to that is increased variation, right? We know this about reproduction, genetic variation. But sometimes animals reproduce asexually, number 12. So why reproduce asexually? Well, it's fast and it's cheap, right? So even though you make exact copies, you can make lots of copies really quickly, right? Copy machine kind of style. So the advantage of asexual reproduction is really speed, quantity, numbers, and speed. So those are advantages of asexual reproduction. Okay, and so that takes us to number 13. Let's talk about these characteristics that so-called complex animals have. All right, so we're complex. Is a worm complex? Is a jellyfish complex? Where do you draw the line? Well, let's talk about what it means to be complex, the way we understand it, because we'll take these and explore them coming up soon. So, one characteristic, specialization. So complexity is implying lots of small specializations. So it's, for example, in somebody like us, we have a bunch of real highly specialized organs, lots of organization with those organs inside. All right. Another characteristic is bilateral body symmetry. So same on both halves, right? Mirror images. So we'll talk about that coming up. The front head having all the sense organs focused in one place. This is true of us. This is true of dogs, right? Think about it. Thank you for thinking about it. And also something called a body cavity. So we'll talk about how when organisms develop, they do this along a few different pathways. Well, 2 major pathways. But we have a consequential organization of the body cavity. Now in humans, we have a real, true body cavity. It's where we keep all our organs, right? So it keeps us organized, keeps us everything not just organized, but compartmentalized, separated. So, all right, so that's the truth there with complex animals. So there they are, and that's number 13. Welcome to this episode's secret. So for this one, I actually thought about this the other day, but I'll put this one out there. You know, it's getting to that point where it's still hard to find TP, but it's also a time where you're running out of TP. I don't know how you guys are in your houses, but we're starting to run a little bit low. Like we have 4 people in my house, and one of them, my 8-year-old son Carter, has no earthly idea of how much toilet paper is an appropriate amount of toilet paper. He uses way too much. It's ridiculous. Anyways, the point is we're starting to run a little low, and I still don't see it in the stores, at least around me. So you know what I'm thinking? How do you do your business without TP? No, you're thinking my answer is going to be leaves. It's not. It's not leaves or bark or sticks or mulch or something. Nope, wrong. Instead, I'm going the European route, and I have ordered from Amazon.com a bidet. I know of people who have used them and swear by them, and I can't tell you personally yet about my experiences with the bidet, but I will soon. It's supposed to arrive this week. In fact, by the time you watch this video, I may have it and I may have already installed it. So maybe I'll give you a bidet update next week. Anyway, secret is I bought a bidet.